Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning to my YouTube family. I have a question. Do you understand why Job, the perfect, God said he was a perfect in all his way. He was upright, he was perfect, and he served the Lord with all his heart, and he hated evil. So the Lord had built a protective edge around man, Job, man of God. And so he was just having a good time serving the Lord. He was having a good time serving the Lord. He did not have any problem. So the Lord said, how can I use Job to let my children know that this pathway that we are walking in called straight can be lived? Because the enemy, Satan said to him, he's serving you. You blessed him. You protect him. So why would he not serve you? But I bet if you take your hands off him, he will curse you out and he will not serve you because all the goodness and the grace and the mercy and all the blessings will be gone. But the Lord knows the future, he knows the present, and he knows the past. So he said, okay, I'm going to remove the fence of protection from around Job. And I am going to let you have him, but you just can't kill him. But I'm just thinking, why would God use Job? He did everything and then let him go through so much. So much. He lost his 7 sons. He lost his 3 daughters. He lost his camels, his oxen, and everything that he had. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camel, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she asses. 7 sons and 3 daughters. And in all the land, his daughters were the fairest of all. Let me see if I'm getting this right. But anyway, I think that was what he received after his testing. But he did have 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he did get those 3 daughters. God did bless him back with his 7 sons and his 3 daughters. But before he had yes, 7 sons, 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camel, 5,000 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses. But then the first set that I read before, that's what he gained. So before he had 7 sons, 3 daughters, 3,000 camels, 7,000 sheep, 5,000 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses. And in all the region of the east, he was one of the richest men. And after he has gone through all his testing and trials and, lost everything, God blessed him. But what was God telling us? God was telling us that just as Job had gone through that process of being the perfect man, being the man that served God, being the man that hated evil, and God said he was a perfect man, that he had gone through. He had to go through all this. And he went through it, and he had some miserable comforters that came by his friends. Even his wife wasn't too happy with what he was going through, and he was still holding on to his faith. But God is telling us, whenever you're going through, or whatever you're going through, don't ever give up on hope. Don't ever give up that on God, because God never give up on us. And whatever sometimes He brings us through or processes us through, it is because He is betting on the devil that my children do love me, whether I give them or I don't give them wealth, they do love me. So that's why the Word of God said it is impossible to please God without faith. So when you have faith in God, nothing can break your faith. Nothing can break your will. Faith, Job knew that in spite of all that was happening, the Lord give it and the Lord take it away. So let us, when we go through our trials and our trust, and we understand that faith never fails. Faith never lose hope. And when you are not doing your will and you are trying to do God's will, you will never stop doing His will. His will must be fulfilled through you. And know too that the Lord will never take you through a process and leave you in the process. He take you in the process and leave you in it. He will take you through the process. So never give up on God. Keep your faith. I know sometimes we as ministers, pastors, evangelists, prophets, we go through so much that sometimes at the end, when we're at the latter day of our testing and trial, we tend to just don't have any more strength to go. But remember, He is the resource of all sources, and all you have to do is to stick it out with Him. Know that whatever He's taking us through or allowing us to go through, remember, the enemy cannot touch you unless he asks permission when you're serving God in spirit and in truth. He has to ask the Lord permission to touch you. That's why the devil, Satan, said to the Lord, oh, he must serve you because you are protecting him, you're giving him everything. You bless his hand, you bless everything around him. So he must serve. And the Lord said, okay, I'm going to remove the protection from Job, and I'm going to have you process him, but you cannot kill him. God will not kill us through our process. He will take us through our process. He's not a God that He should lie. He said the battle is His, but we must trust Him. We have to process. We have to be nailed on the cross, but He will not leave us there. He will take you through. Because in the end, I think Job died at the age of 140. And he did, after all his children had died, he did have children again. He had 7 more sons, 3 more daughters. And his wealth was increased from what it was before. So learn this. God never do anything without a process. So in today, when you are going through anything, each and every one of us go through something. The enemy is always going to throw stones. Our God is going to allow us to go through certain things, even when you're serving Him in spirit and truth and doing everything that is right. But remember this, He will never leave us, nor forsake us. And you just believe. Don't ever let your faith waver. It is impossible to please God without faith. And He requires 2 things of us, that we should worship Him in spirit and in truth. And notice that He gives us an example of what we will go through or what He will allow us to go through. But make sure that your process is being done by the Lord, not by your strength, not by what you're going to. Your process must be done by the Lord, as He will surely take you through. Don't be processed by something you did wrong. But make sure your process is by the Lord. In spite of what people are going to say about it, make sure your process is being done by the Lord. The Lord volunteer you to be processed. And you know, when you know that you know who you serve, then you will never let go. You'll never lose faith. Because what do you have to lose but to keep trusting Him? Because if you trust in chariot and you trust in men, men will fail. But God never fails. God bless you. understand that Job, the book of Job, is there, and whatever Job has gone through is to teach us and to help us to grow in faith and grace. Be blessed. Evangelist Davis.